Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie, and on YouTube here I do share my hair journal with you guys. So about a week ago I did get my hair cut. I did get a 0 degree cut on my silk press hair. So one of the things I was really surprised, and this is a scheduled cut that I have every year. Every year I do get a silk press around April because that's my anniversary, my husband and I wedding anniversary, and that's when I get my cut. I just get it every year around that time. So one of the things that I was really surprised, my stylist was really happy with my hair because she's been my stylist for over 6 years. She was really happy with my hair. She was really happy how it felt, how it looked, because she shampooed and of course conditioned it, and she was really impressed with how it felt. She was happy. Anyway, so comes the blowing out part when she's blowing out my hair. And she's blowing out the back of my hair, and she's like, I want to stop and show you this. So she stops and she shows me the ends of my hair. She's like, when did you get a cut again? I said 3 months ago, and I even looked at it. I told her exactly when I got the cut because I had the appointment that I went to. Anyway, needless to say, I really didn't like how my ends look. So for right now, I am putting a halt on curly cuts. I will be, for the rest of this year, just getting 0 degree cut on stretched hair, blown out hair, just to see. I'm not gonna silk press. I only silk press like once a year, so my hair is gonna be in a blown out state so my stylist can see my ends. I want to keep an eye on my ends this year, so I'm just gonna do exclusively straight cuts for this year. I kind of have an idea what curly cuts versus straight cuts do, because I've done straight cuts for most of my life. I mean, I've curly cuts a few times, not like with the hair defined, like cutting it in a natural state. So I've done both. I also want to see what my hair health will be like at the end of the year. So those are the two reasons why I want to do that. So for curly cuts, I do love them. I love curly cuts. I cannot deny how much I love curly cuts. I love the shape it gives and everything. So one of the things I was really concerned, I wanted to see what my hair looked like in my wash and go state, even though it's a 0 degree cut. You know, everybody says, when you cut curl by curl, your cut is gonna look way different versus when you cut straight. So I really was interested in seeing how my hair look with a 0 degree cut versus my curly cut. I actually really love the cut, and I'm very impressed. She's a really good stylist. She cuts very well. I'm gonna turn around and show you what my hair looks like so you can have an idea what it looks like. And also, one side of my hair is longer than the other in this style, because on this side I was testing out Trappadora, and on this side I'm testing out Inner Sense I Create Definition Foam. This wash and go I have I use Kinky Curly Custard as my base because I couldn't use Uncle Funky's. It was really irritating my scalp. So I use that, and then I use I Create Hold and I Create Definition. Over here I have Kinky Curly Custard. I have the Trappadora Mousse, and then I have Bamboo Jinxing on top. But that didn't work out too well, so I ended up having to put I Create Hold on top to give my hair the wash and go I would like. So yeah, so this is what this is looking like, and this is beautiful. I actually really, really love it. It's a more poofy look, so I love it. On this side, it's more elongated. If you can see my hair, the cut my hair has, it's just elongated to the length. Here, poofy, elongated. So I have lopsided head, and I did it all the way down on each side. But that was not what this video is about. So one of the things that my stylist discussed with me during my appointment, after she saw how badly my ends were split at the end, because she's like, you had your hair cut 3 months ago. So she said, and we've discussed this way before I started curly cuts, because that's something I discussed with her before I even did curly cuts. She said curly cuts are good for shape, but a stylist can never truly see the condition of your ends when they're in a nicely curl, hydrated looking state. It's not going to really show that some of the things that are going on with your hair when it isn't curly. When it is straight, there's no denying that you can see exactly what's going on with your ends and you can cut them off. But my stylist, she will always ask you, she'll tell you what's going on. She'll always give you the final decision to cut where you want to cut, how much you want to cut. She'll tell you how much needs to come off and you decide how much you want to take off. So that she respects your decision, whatever you want to do, but she tells you what's going to happen if you don't cut it off, but it's still your decision. One of the other things that I noticed is I was experiencing a little bit more tangles than I've ever had. I normally don't have tangles. Even when my hair is at the end of the day ready to cut, I normally never have tangles or rarely have tangles when I did straight cut. That's just number one. I rarely had tangles, and even with the curly cuts, I rarely have tangles. Even before going to see her, I really didn't have a whole bunch of tangles, except on the front right here. It was giving me a difficult time, and you will see in the video. I don't know if it's up already. If it's up, I'll share with you the video that it's in. So I had some tangles and I did not like that. For the first time, I had seen a few tangles in my hair, and when I took it out, I was like, attaching to my hair. When I pulled it out and I was looking at it, guys, let me tell you, right here in this dresser. So this is me. I was on this little dresser right here, and I have this thing. And this is me. I was like this, has a light. This is me with the hair. I was like, I held the hair on a piece of paper and I was looking at it. I was like, why is that 2 pieces of hair? Is it 1 piece of hair? What is this? So that was me. I'm looking at my split ends, right? That was me looking at my split ends. So I really was wondering why my ends were splitting up the shaft, like it was a double split. And I've never had that before, even when I was not taking 100% care as I am now. But yeah, I did not like that. It's the first I've ever found them in my hair, and I did not like it. So that was one of the things. And to be honest, guys, it's not saying my curly cut specialist is not excellent. It's not saying she didn't cut my hair well. It's just saying I just don't get why my hair was splitting up the shaft like that if I was getting all the split ends off. And it's very difficult to figure out to get the split ends off, because you could be cutting off a whole bunch of the person's hair and not knowing if it's split end or not. So for me, I'm going back to straight cuts because I want to keep an eye on my ends. I want to see what they're doing. And I also want to see what my retention rate would be like with me cutting my hair straight, with me getting off the split ends, and just being able to see what my ends look like, because retaining length is based on if your hair is breaking off at the ends, because your hair is growing from the scalp. It's the ends. And I will insert a picture of my first video so you can have an idea what my hair was like. So I did retain quite a bit of length. I think my hair was, I don't know, so I think I retained about maybe 3 or 4 inches, maybe 3 inches, because I had to cut 2 off. So yeah, about around that many inches I've retained, which is quite good. And my stylist, she does say my hair grows a little bit faster than normal, like the normal rate than, of the people she sees. My hair grows faster. So yeah, I'm always impressed though the way my hair looks. But if I can maintain my shape of my hair with my 0-degree cuts, I honestly don't know if I will ever go back to curly cuts, because initially I just wanted to do my 1 year straight cut like I normally do and just do my curly cuts in between. But I don't know if I will, because the whole point of retaining length, if you're trying to, is getting those ends off. And if my curly cut is not doing that for me, I don't see the reason to have curly cuts. And it's also significantly more expensive. And honestly, if you cannot get your curly cuts done every what 8 to 12 weeks, I think. Please don't invest in a curly cut, because by the time it gets to that point, you need to go get your trim. And if you're not doing that, you're going to damage your hair. So please make sure you're getting your cuts as recommended by the stylist. Please do not go over the time limit if you really want to retain length. If you don't care, then it doesn't really matter. But if you want to retain length, please, whatever the stylist is telling you to do, to come in whatever time, just they know the health, they can touch and feel the health of your hair. So just go ahead and do what they're asking if you can. I think 0-degree cuts might be a cheaper option, and you can still get a significantly well, my stylist, she's pretty good. I cannot say another stylist is going to be able to do what she does with her cutting. You know, everybody's different. So you just have to do your research. Even with getting curly cuts, please do your research to make sure the stylist does the kind of cutting that you like, or they're able to do what you want them to do while cutting. And also another thing you can always do is when you do get your curly cuts, talk to your stylist about if you're having tangles. Tell them that you're having tangles, and they might say, oh, it's because you need a cut. But if you're consistently having tangles, you need to talk to them about it. Maybe ask them, can I come in with my hair straight so you can look at my ends, or whatever. If you just still want to do, you know, like if you do love your curly cuts and you want to do that, you can always ask, can I come in with my hair straight so you can take a look at my ends before you actually start with the styling. So that's something you can do as well. But and another thing, I do love wearing my hair straight sometimes. Sometimes I do it more than maybe 10 times for the year. I do blow my hair out and I wear it straight. If I'm lazy and washed and I can't get wash and go going, I do blow my hair out and I will cornrow it into big cornrows going back. So I don't love the jaggedy ends. So I do like to blow my hair out as well. So for me, it probably is better for me to do a 0-degree cut than a curly cut, because when I did blow my hair out with the curly cut, it wasn't terrible. I have to be honest, it wasn't terrible, but my ends were a little bit jagged. You could see the, you know, some little parts, because it's done in a curly state, so there's just some jaggedy parts which I don't really care for, but it didn't really bother me that much. The reason why I'm gonna switch from curly cuts to straight cuts is because I want to keep an eye on my ends. I want to make sure they're healthy. I don't want to go in, grow all this hair, and then go in and have to cut 2-3 inches off because the split end, you know, my split ends are traveling up my shaft. Because if it doesn't get completely cut off, it's just going to keep splitting, and each time you're going to go, it's just going to keep splitting all the way up, and I don't want that. So for me personally, I'm just going to go with straight cut for this year and see how that turns out. And you guys can watch my journey. I will share with you guys. I mean, if there's something that I don't like, I'm always going to share with you guys. I just want to make sure you guys are always informed, and just because I know, you know what, to be honest, I hear a lot of people, I watch a lot of videos, people who do curly cuts, and one of the things, even before I started curly cuts, one of the things I noticed is that they are always like pulling through their hair because it's so tangled at the ends. That's one thing I always noticed with their styling. When they're styling, I noticed they have tangled ends. And I never had that before. I mean, you guys can watch my videos before I did curly cuts. There was no tangling and stuff like that. Even when I went before, like I would go we would have a scheduled cut for 6 months, 2 times a year, and I never had. When she cut it so nice and sharp that you're good for 6 months. With curly cuts, because you're just trimming the little ends, you know, the little, like if you had a little end that they thought was dead, they would trim it off. But basically that was it. So we just all have to make the choice what we want. And for my choice, for my hair goals this year, I want clean ends. I've always wanted clean ends. I hate split ends. But for my hair goal for this year, I want to see what Is there going to be a difference in length retention getting curly cut done versus straight cut? Is my hair going to be shorter? Am I going to retain more length? What is going to be the difference with getting the different cuts? So that's why this year I'm going to do, just like last year I did straight curly cuts. It's around the same time I started. And so this, yeah, it was around last year, May, April, May. I think it was May that I started my curly cut journey. And then I got my last curly cut in January. So yeah, and then I got my silk press a week or so ago, a little bit over a week ago. So we will see together. And the next time I'll get my silk press will be April of next year. But other than that, I may go with my hair blown out to her, already blown out at home, so she can just trim the ends. So that's, wash it the day off and just blow it out and go and let her trim it real quick. I'm going to be sharing my experience over the next year, switching to straight cuts, what my hair is going to look. I want to see how much length I'm able to retain doing the straight 0-degree cuts. I just want to see. Thank you so much for watching. Please share below, what cuts do you get? How has your hair benefited from getting curly cuts, or how has your hair benefited from getting straight cuts? Just share below. Share below your thoughts. Share below your experience. And share below if you have asked your stylist. The best way to know, I know all these stylists have these different answers. But share below, what does your stylist say? What do they say if you ask them, how can I be sure that I'm getting these split ends off at my cut when I get a curly cut? Ask them at your next visit. Ask them, how do you know that you're getting all my split ends off when you have your visit? Just check with them to see if they're able to get them off, or if you don't care having split ends, that's a different deal. But just share below your experience. Share below your curly cut experience. Are you having tangles? Are you not having tangles? Is your curly cut experience going well for you? Other than the shaping. The shaping was going well for me. There was nothing about the shaping. I was just concerned because the ends of my hair after 3 months were just so bad. So just share below your experience. Let me know in the comments. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again in another video.